Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are from Group 4, and I am Novita Putri, and here my friends, Dewa, Bagus, and Setya. In today's video, we would like to present our mind mapping about the position of poverty and also explain it. So, without further ado, let's move to the first main activity that will be explained by Dewa, Bagus. Time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Novita. So I will explain the first keyword, that is reason. So why poverty exists is, the first one is, more than half of the poor household are headed by women. This is not good because the management is maybe a bit a bit messy when it's headed by a woman. And then the frustrating environments, it means people have been frustrated by some factor common to their environments. This, like, people will be stressed is they live in a bad environment. So this is the reason why poverty is exists. And then the third is forces to the community. Forces common to all members of the community. And then the fourth is poor educational facilities. This is why poverty people is not good in education. So yeah, poverty is exists when educational facilities is poor too. And then the last is helplessness and rejection. This is the most what is the most the the point that poverty is really bad and need to be good in a way. And then next.
Okay, next I'm gonna explain about the characteristic of poverty. The characteristic of poverty can be seen from first lack of food. A million poor people live with hunger and malnourishment because they simply cannot afford to buy enough food. They cannot afford nutritious food or cannot afford the farming supplies that they need. It can be viewed as dimension of extreme poverty. Next is lack of clothes. As we know, clothing is fundamental human right. What we wear also plays a role in maintaining our well-being, self-esteem, and our ability to conceive an effective place in society. And our article that say that children from a poor families, they really had a non uniform days in school because they afraid that they will be bullied. They will be bullied because of their clothes. Next is lack of house room. Housing play a critical role in providing stability to poor families. When family lack it, there are terrible consequences. Families facing severe rent burdens are left with little room for other necessities like food or clothing. Next, full-time worker. Mostly the adult of poor family working full-time from early morning until the late of night to meet their family's needs. And the rest don't have leisure because their work until they work from morning until late night, so they didn't have leisure to time with family or time for playing. Okay, next.
And then the third keyword is disadvantage of being poverty. Sorry, disadvantage of being poor. So the poor people is burdened by paying the tax. They they hard to pay the tax because they don't have enough money. So yeah, that's the disadvantage of being being poor. And then the next point is get judgment, be degraded, and live outside grades. This 3 point is almost the same because it's related to the point that I mentioned in reason is helplessness and rejection. This is the effect of get judgment, be degraded, and live outside the grades. Yeah. Next.
Okay, the next keyword is types. Poverty have two types, and that are case poverty and insular poverty. Case poverty can be found in every community, whether it's in the city or in the countryside. Case poverty has some characteristics that are related to the individual. The first one is bad health, and then the second one is unable to adapting to industrial life. The third one is alcohol. The fourth one is uncontrollable procreation. And the last one is discrimination. All of these characteristics make the individuals who live in the situation of poverty can participate in general welfare because they are considered as a minority. Whereas insular poverty, or also called island of poverty, is a situation where each individual or almost every individual is poor and they get frustrated with their environment.
Okay, next point we have solution. The solution for the poverty. So the first I will mention absence of any very great politician appeal. With absence of any political appeal, politicians will indifferent to the poverty people. So that's why people should support the politicians and the politicians will help you back. And the second point is secure minimum income. As the result of supporting in politics, the politicians will help to secure family with minimum income. They will provide public service to people. Poverty people also get this effect. Next.
Next is remedies. Too many idea of finding solution to poverty, but it seem it's seemingly impossible. We cannot really erase or eliminate the poverty, but we can reduce the rate of poverty. And here's some some things that which can remedies the poverty. First rate school attendance. Second is health services, advanced education, physical vigilantly watched, and good housing.
The next point is the degree of poverty. Degree of privation can be seen from three aspects. The first is size of the family, and then pieces of residence, and the last is changes living costs. These three things very affect the degree of privation because they are related one to each other. Most people that live in rural areas have less place to live than people who live in the city. This happens because their income is different. People who live in rural areas have very small income rather than people who live in city. And if they also have many members of family, their living costs will be increased and they have to fulfill it with their small income. And then to reduce the degree of privation, they should decrease the size of their family, and so that they can fulfill their living costs and have a decent home. The next is
And the last point is poverty's environment. Poverty often causes people to put relatively more pressure on the environment, which results in larger families. And poverty among people puts stress on the environment, whereas environmental problems cause several suffering to the poor. And as we know, most poor people live in slum and dirty environments, such as on the banks of rivers or near the garbage dumps. And as we can see from the mind map, it is just a little describe of poverty environment, such as the dirty children playing in the bare dirt, the basement dwelling in the alley, the gray black hovel beside the railroad tracks, and home family with the junk filled yard.
well, the last points is the end of the video. In conclusion, we hope everyone can help to reduce poverty around them. Start from small action, as simple as not being discriminate and look at other people not from their social level. So because it can bring big impact to them, and everyone who lives in this world has the same opportunity to running their life. Thank you for watching our video and goodbye.